Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show. Discover your life's purpose, reprogram your mind for success, and attract an abundance of paying clients to your business. Now, here's your host, Tom Tenaglia.
Aloha, Empowered Entrepreneur. I am Tom Tenaglia, and you're listening to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show. And today, let's talk a little bit about the idea of, what some people are either calling the Great Resignation, the Great Reorientation, the Great Reassignment. I mean, whatever you want to call it. It's the idea that people are leaving companies they've been with and doing other things, whether it's going to another company, starting their own business, or whatever the case may be. And the deeper question within that is, how do you retain great talent? Well, you really just take care of them. I mean, it's not that difficult. There was a quote I came across a little while ago that basically said, hire great people and then get out of their way. I mean, and that really sums it up. The companies, the small businesses that I know that have basically done that, they have really no problem with retention. In fact, they grow. Those are the companies that other people will flock to. I think I saw a headline that, whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but it said that I think 80% of tax income is going to be from small businesses, or businesses making less than $200,000 in revenue. And that's an interesting idea. It's an interesting concept, right? Is it saying that the larger corporations are, the model is effectively changing? Well, I tell you what, the work from home environment, once people realize that, wait a minute, they actually enjoy working from home more, and they enjoy not having commutes, and they enjoy seeing their family and doing those types of things. Yeah, it got people to realize that the quote-unquote daily grind is not really something that they want to do. And there is somebody was asking me, well, why is it that these corporations effectively had people kind of go back into the office if what their employees want is to work from home? And well, I mean, I have different thoughts on that. One is, there actually is real estate, right? And therefore, I mean, the corporations are paying for corporate real estate. In fact, I saw some articles that talked about that very concept. And I also think there's a generational difference. I think that if you look at companies that are basically being run by not younger generations, but more recent generations, then what you get is a different way of going about managing their business. Why would somebody starting a business in today's world want to seek out a large real estate investment for their company? It doesn't make any sense when you can actually run an entire business virtually with all the technology that we have. And you don't even need, data centers and servers and things, because you have software as a service and infrastructure as a service, and you have these other systems that it is so easy now to start a business. And yeah, I mean, to grow it, to maintain it, to sustain it, to find clients, all the marketing and everything, people are realizing that, yeah, there's work to do, of course. The talent question is just, it makes me say, okay, well, if you have people working for you and with you, how aligned is what you want and what they want? And, is it something that that sustains. Like, I've seen companies that say that they're remote, and there was a remote position, but what they meant was it was a remote position until return to office occurred, and then it was actually in the office. And so they would market for job applicants the idea that it was remote, only to, it's like, what did they think? Like, it's so funny because then I know people that went through that process, and they were like, oh, well, then I don't want the position if I'm actually going to have to come in the office. And it's like, you would never do this in a marketing sense. That's bait and switch, right? I mean, that's what that is. It's saying, yeah, that's what it is. Oh, well, no, because it's remote for right now. No, no, no. If you say it's a remote position, it's a remote position. I had a recruiter message me, and they wanted my thoughts on a position, and I said, well, the position you're talking about is only a 90% remote position, so I have no interest in it. And the interesting thing about that is the recruiter was, the way it was positioned was almost like, it was like, oh yeah, it's celebrate, it's 90%. I'm sorry, but the market is, no, 90% doesn't equal 100%. And when people want to work 100% remote, they want to work 100% remote. The flexibility that you lose in that 10% is you can't be anywhere. You can't be, you can't just be in a different location because you would want to be there, right? If you have to be in the office 10% of the time, you have to figure out a way to still occasionally be in that area, right? So the ecosystem is changing, right? Instead of the needing to manage technology, in a corporate office, things are moving to the cloud, right? And so you can manage them remotely. Like, there's no actual reason why a business couldn't run remotely, completely virtual, completely remote. There are some companies too that say that they're virtual, but I have to ask, from what perspective? Because some companies claim that they're virtual because all of their customers interact with them online, but in reality, they have major call centers and major corporate offices. So their company isn't actually virtual. The way they interact with their customers is. There are a lot of companies whose, their front door, is just a website. Absolutely. But there's no reason why those companies can't operate, remotely. In fact, quite honestly, the last couple of years, we've seen that those companies did, right? With the exception of a few positions that most likely, just based on what I know, is to keep the actual physical facilities working. But if those facilities didn't exist, then they wouldn't have needed those positions to be in the office, right? So it's an interesting thought. I do think that, instead of blaming the Great Resignation or the Great Reorientation or the Great Reassignment, talking to your talent before the thought that they might want to move somewhere even comes up. I know that certain HR departments are asking in exit interviews and exit surveys and things like that, like, hey, did you are you leaving for something that's more remote or something like that? And that's a bit too late to ask that question. I mean, you're gathering data for why people are leaving, but all you're trying to do, hopefully, at least, is you're just trying to slow the drop off rate. When in reality, talk to the people that are staying and figure out whether or not they're happy there and what might need to change. And be willing Here's the interesting thing I see about this. There are companies that say they value their employees, but then when the employees all go and say, "Hey, we would really like XYZ. I think it would help us and it would be better for the company and yada yada." The company's like, "Yeah, we don't want to do that." Wait, what? Like sometimes the investment in something that the company needs to do is actually an investment in the employees. There are companies in Silicon Valley that have free food and drink all the time. If you're in the office, I mean that's in the office, of course, but that was also before 2020. So it's like free food and drink all the time, part of their culture. Nobody, they don't overtake anything because they could just get whatever they want. Really, really slick. But if a company was also in Silicon Valley and they said, you know what, like our competitors all do this, we should do this too, so that it's an investment in their employees. And if the company is too cynical and they just think, well, why would somebody leave just to get free food? Then they're missing the point. It's no. It's we're actually making an investment in our people by supplying the food and drink. So thinking through those types of things. So it's really, it's just a matter of listening to people, treating people right, and people are realizing, one, that at the end of the day, they can find an opportunity anywhere, not just a job opportunity, but a business opportunity. And to some degree, they can have a better say of their future through a business opportunity, in my opinion. Business opportunities take a lot of work. They do. But I think people, the people that have mentioned certain things to me, they've realized that nobody's really going to look out for them and their family except for themselves at the end of the day. And what I like to do is, with anybody that's working with me, is that I care about their family and the things that they do. And I had somebody that was helping me out with some business venture, and basically, if he called me up and he said, my wife this, I just said, stop, go take care of it. He's like, but we had a meeting, but no, go take care of it. Whatever you need to do. Like, that's just how I am. He's like, but we already rescheduled. I don't care. Go be with your family. Like, go do what you need to do. There's not anything that we're doing that is more important than that. And yeah, if it's a repetitive type thing, of course, but that isn't what this was. This was more of just these things happen. Life happens. And really it comes down to just taking care of the people that are working with you. And really, if you you could ask the people, why did you leave? But actually a better question, in my opinion, is asking what's called a threshold value question. If you ask somebody around the idea of, okay, given everything what's kept you here, okay, but given everything that's kept you here, is there anything that would occur that could cause you to leave? And then there's another threshold value basically after that, which is, okay, given everything that's happened so far and given this that could cause you to leave, is there anything that could cause you to still stay? And really understanding what those values are. And we all have them. And the more that you understand that, see, if somebody's blaming the fact that, oh, that's just the market, that's just the talent market right now, that's just, we can't attract our talent. Well, yeah, because you're asking people to move to where your physical location is, and they don't want to be in that location and they don't want to be in that office. So you can't say that the talent pool is hard. You're just going against the grain. You're fighting against the wave. You know, you're in the ocean, standing in the ocean, and the big wave is coming towards you, and you're like, I'm just going to stand here, instead of jumping on it and riding it. Instead of saying, why don't we attract talent where the talent is and let them stay where they are unless they want to move? You know, as opposed to making it a condition of employment to travel somewhere. But people don't want to do that anymore. Right? They have families and things, and it's not what the talent pool wants to do. So, you know, a company can't just say that, like, oh, it's just the market. No, the market. You got to go into the market with where the market's at. That's marketing. See, talent management, talent acquisition, all of that is still marketing. You're actually marketing the business, but from a people perspective instead of a product perspective, product or service, right? You're marketing it from the business and the people and those types of things. And so that's still marketing. So if the talent market says, we don't want to come in the office, well, then you got to actually come up with an offer, right? In marketing, come up with an offer where they're not going in the office. You know, just like if you were selling anything and the talents and the market is saying, well, we don't actually want that. You can't just go, oh, well, you know, the market's just being difficult and they don't want to buy this. No, sell them what they want to buy. You know, and it's just the stubbornness of the seller, right, that sometimes gets in the way of their own success. Because they're thinking, well, my product or service is, you know, going to help this person. Well, only if they buy it. And if you can't get them to buy it, then what difference does it make? All right. So, you know, they're thinking, well, you know, it's because you're going to want this product or service. Therefore, it's like, no, it's your job as the marketer to help them realize that what you're marketing is what's the solution for them and what they're looking for, right? So even with talent acquisition, how do you help talent figure out that what you have and your business and everything that you offer is actually what they're looking for? So if they're looking for not needing to come into the office, then that should be part of your offer. Okay? So talent is no different. The point of this is talent management is no different than actual marketing. The only difference is it's people instead of the product or service. And so those are some of my thoughts on it, all my opinion. But I hope that helps you as you continue to grow your business and navigate the various cycles of life. And with that, aloha, ahui ho. I'll talk with you again soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered Entrepreneur Show.